You hear me okay? Yes? Okay. My name is Ona Lamont, and I am the faculty member on record for the Synecdoche team. Thank you. The silent applause. I love it. My table's all doing this. It was so sweet. A year ago, our just beloved Professor Warren Duty, after 23 years of service to Vanguard, retired. And last year at this time, we had a goodbye celebration for Professor Duty, as well as many of our senior students who graduated out. And it was such a bittersweet event because he graduated on to bigger and better things, while the professors in our department got to stay this year, and wish him well. But I can honestly say that he's led Synecdoche for over a decade, and as my first experience, I was excited, but a little bit anxious because I wanted to make sure that I could shepherd these students well. So I prayed hard over the summer, saying, Lord, please equip me with the gifts to shepherd these students, very much in the same vein of Professor Duty, who led our students well. And I can sincerely say that the Lord has answered those prayers. I selfishly pray that I could shepherd these students, but how the Lord answered this prayer was that he brought 8 incredible men and women to this team. And it has been such a joyful year seeing you guys grow, to lead, and to do all of this on your own. One of the joys of higher education is you're training students to be able to do things without you. And I can say that I think after our first meeting, this group of students just launched. Everything you see here today has been student-run. Professor Hatch, Professor Danger, and I have done very little. These students have taken all of their gifts, all of their skills, and they have done everything in their power to create such a beautiful journal and an event. Everything from the food on the table, the tablecloths, this journal, everything that you are experiencing now was 100% student-driven. So I want to acknowledge this. And this is the last you're going to see the faculty members. From here on out, it's going to be the students who are running the program. I'd like to welcome you to our 23rd edition of the Synecdoche, and I know that we have a great evening in store for you.
Hi, my name is Olivia. Please bow your head with me as we open in a word of prayer. Lord Jesus, we thank you so much for this beautiful day that you have given us, for this incredible event that we all get to attend and just celebrate the amazing work that our super talented Synecdoche team has come together to produce. I thank you, Father, for all of the creative gifts that you have endowed everybody that was published in Synecdoche. The publication, each individual piece, each picture, Father, is just, it's a recollection of all of the incredible gifts that you have given us, Father. You are the ultimate creator, and during this event, we just want to praise and honor you with all of our hard work, and I pray that you would just help us all to allow it to run smoothly. I also, Father, just thank you for the gospel. May we never forget the work that you did for us on the cross. We love you so much, God, and it's your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Raise it up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Bosman, and I was graciously selected by the English department faculty to be the editor-in-chief of the Synecdoche magazine this semester and this year. So Synecdoche is the English department capstone. So it's like our big final project. It's a separate class from the rest of our academics where we are able to produce a beautiful literary journal which is made up of the work of all of the students at Vanguard. So along with that, one of my responsibilities is to write something called a letter from the editor, which is where I sort of try to hone in on my personal mission statement for the magazine, but then also capture the whole attitude of my entire team. So it's not super long, but it's hard to sum up, so I figured I would just read it for all of you. Stories exist everywhere, all around us, all of the time. Sometimes they can be found in unexpected places. In the elderly woman at the bus stop carrying flowers in her tattered grocery bag, in the window display of a shop downtown, in the color scheme of a Trader Joe's aisle. Most of the time, though, stories are in plain sight. The latest movie to shock critics and audiences alike, the newest book on the shelf in the local bookstore, from the mouth of a parent or grandparent, told across the table of a bustling coffee shop. Stories are omnipresent, formative in shaping our lives, but not everyone chooses to tap into their frequency, to take what they have seen in the world around them and make it their own. The artists published in this journal do exactly that, take ownership of their stories. It would be remiss to say that this journal tells every story one could possibly imagine. Frankly, that is impossible. Synecdoche as an idea exists to showcase the work and stories of the community of Vanguard University, to elevate students, faculty, staff, and alumni from this one specific demographic. Everyone in this journal has at least one thing in common: Vanguard. But the most beautiful thing about art is its universality. In a soft, gentle voice, art takes our hand and says to us, "You are not alone." It gives us comfort in our darkest times, another expression of our Father God's love. The ability to create is one of the greatest blessings ever given to humanity. God could have easily hoarded it for himself, but he didn't. He knew humans could use it to better their own lives, as well as the lives of those around them. We must never forget that our talents did not come from us. We are all a credit to our Maker. Synecdoche is our way of blessing the Vanguard community. Like its namesake, this journal serves as a representation of the university and its students. It is my belief, though, that art should never be contained. It demands to be shared with everyone who could see it. So, not only is it a Synecdoche of Vanguard, but it is a Synecdoche of all humanity, for its highs, lows, and everything in between. It represents the pain and triumph of living, as well as the beauty all around us. Finally, it represents the stories of and in our lives, the ones we can see if we only dare to look. Thank you. So how does one go about making a literary journal? Amazing question. So last semester, we started collecting submissions from across the Vanguard community. We took in basically work of any kind. So academic work, like papers written for a class, any kind of creative works, like whether that was creative nonfiction, poetry, short stories, like a memoir piece, even plays. And then we also accepted art and photography. But I alone was not responsible for putting this entire thing together because that would be impossible. So I'd like to introduce my wonderful team, whose photos we do have up here with us in case nobody can see them. Do we have the slideshow? Okay, it doesn't actually matter. So as I call your name, team members, please stand so that we can acknowledge you and all your hard work. So our managing editor, who was sort of like my right-hand person, was Olivia Gonzalez. We have our production editor, who was responsible for basically putting the entire thing together, Devin Apps. We have our traveling editor, who basically was sort of like a one-stop shop for everything. She helped us all across the team, and that was Devin Patterson. We have our scholarly works editor, who was responsible for reviewing all of the academic papers, Grace Flory. And then our 3 creative works editors, who were responsible for everything that wasn't academic, Isabella Martin, Jonathan Parolo, and Megan Erickson. Okay, so obviously this is a student journal from Vanguard University across all the campus. So if you were published in Synecdoche, could you please stand so that we can acknowledge you as well? Thank you for being here. So I would say, I can speak for the team when I say that we are proud of this thing. Like everything in here has just been so carefully chosen, and we really were kind of harsh sometimes with what we put in, but we wanted to produce something that was of high quality and up to our personal standard. So every single photo, poetry, other creative work, which we call prose, and scholarly work is amazing, but we do like to highlight 4 specific people. So we do one winner in every category. This was the team selected our favorites, and then we took all of the names off, and then we sent them to the teachers, and they chose their favorites. They had no idea who anything was. So we'll be giving out an award for best photo, poetry, prose, which is any work that is not poetry, any creative work not poetry, and scholarly work. So if you are an award recipient, when your name is called, please come up to the stage and receive your award. We have already printed everything out for you, so it's all going to be here. Now I'd like to introduce Megan Erickson, who will be giving out our first award.
Hello, I need this a little shorter. So like Amber said, I'm Megan, and I was on our Creative Works editing team. And so the first award goes to photo that best shows the artistic ability through the lens of a camera. In Synecdoche, the craftsmanship shown through photography specifically highlighted the beauty of nature. So a lot of our photos that you'll see are, of what God has created for us. And the images represented in the journal exemplify the worshipful experience that occurs within the awe of nature that you experience. So I'd like to welcome up the winner of photography, Esther Ramirez.
Hi guys. Thank you all for being here, and then thank you to my family for also being here today. I was first able to take this picture at the California Science Center and going to their ocean exhibit. It was a trip that I'll always remember. I got to go with 2 of my best friends, Jonathan and Lizzie. When I look at this picture, it reminds me of the beauty and joy that came from that day. I remember walking through that exhibit and really being enamored by the beauty of what God has created. And I'm grateful that I was able to experience that beauty with my friends, but now being able to share it with all of you. This piece was titled, His Majesty Reflected in the Deep. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Devin, and I'm giving the award for poetry. So poetry was our second most submitted category, and they range from topics of contemplating one's reflection in a mirror to cats of various types. Many of the submissions moved our group, displaying the skill and creative abilities of the Vanguard students. And the one we'd like to highlight tonight stands out not only for its form and sophisticated language, but also because it's a poem about poets. The award for Best Poem goes to Amanda Fagan.
Hi. So, this year, my friends all know I've been quite a fan of the Romantics. So, a little forward. What is Romanticism? During a time of war, disregard for nature, idolization of the industrial, and an abandonment of God, the world needed to remember how to love again. 2 friends in their late 20s, Wordsworth and Coleridge, felt certain that creativity was the answer. Wordsworth called poetry the real language of man in his preface to lyrical ballads. The 2 friends felt the need to write a defense to preface their work, arguing that poetry was for all people and that art brought unity. Romantic poetry reminded people to reconnect with God, to seek him out in creation, and to foster friendships with the people he places in your path. Spirit of the Woods is a conversation poem, a style of poem invented by one of the fathers of Romanticism, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The goal of a conversation poem is to address a close relation informally, reflect and tie in key themes of romanticism and iambic pentameter. Have you ever known someone only through stories? As the chain of impressions goes on, sometimes people get misrepresented along the way. I wrote this poem to one of my closest friends who at one time was someone I hoped never to cross paths with. In high school, classmates told me tales of the quiet kid who transferred out the year before I arrived. This mysterious figure was supposedly the reason the school's mountain retreat had so many rules set in place. But one day I met this mystery person, and turns out they're one of the kindest and most genuine people out there. So that's what this poem is about, and I'll read it for you now. Spirit of the Woods. It seems we traverse the same path in life, almost within your reach, a year behind. I stood on mountains, grieved beneath pine trees. You grieved a year before on the same peak. Your path was rugged, dangerous terrain. I heard the tales of you, knew not your name. My climb back down to earth was a descent, but at the bends I found you, heaven sent. Not ominous and dark like they had said, to think the years I believed tales of dread. You paved the roads, took on the arrow shafts. I wove you into my lyrical drafts. You were a figure I had yet to meet. I knew you as a sparrow knows deep sea. But then I saw you, spirit of the woods. Turns out you were a human, full of good. Thank you.
Next up, we have our prose winner. Prose, for those who don't know, is any written form that is not poetry, but we're keeping scholarly works as a separate section.
We received many excellent prose pieces this year, and although this was a difficult decision, this next story won due to its beautiful writing and its powerful emotions. We hope this piece resonates with you as well.
We are pleased to introduce our prose winner, Grace Flory.
Good evening, guys. So the piece I'll be reading for you, I wrote after I came back to my hometown. After being overseas for 6 months, I spent 2.5 months leaving everything I knew and moved to Hawaii. And then from there, I lived in Southeast Asia. So it's just a culmination of reverse culture shock and all the emotions that I felt. It's quiet, not just in the world outside, but within me. Stepping out of the airport, the cool, clean Pacific Northwest breeze greets me. Gone is the clinging humidity of the past 6 months. I load my bags into the back of my parents' minivan. My sister and I assume our familiar seats, unchanged over the past decade, as we embark on our long drive home. We drive in silence, mostly. I gaze out the window as we wind past Everett, then Marysville. The gray clouds hang low, almost protectively, as if the sky itself is cushioning the shock of re-entry. The signs for Lake Stevens blur past, Wendy's, Safeway, the little coffee stands on every corner. Everything looks the same, yet everything has changed, especially me. It's quiet, everything is green and still. We pass the road signs I used to see every day, drawing closer to home. The air carries the scent of fresh-cut grass and gasoline with a faint hint of distant barbecue. An Arlington summer encapsulated in a single breath. We navigate the roundabouts, cross the still Squamish River, its slow-moving waters mirroring the unhurried pace of this place. This is home, and yet I feel like an alien arriving on Earth. As we continue along Jordan Road, passing farms and houses nestled among the evergreen trees, the silence stretches. I reflect on how I left. January 2023, gray skies, luggage packed with sunscreen, brand new swimsuits, and a fresh notebook. I remember the tearful goodbyes with friends, the heartache of leaving my mom and sister for so long. I had no idea how different I'd feel 6 months later. First came Hawaii, the sun-drenched days on the Big Island, the air thick with humidity. I quickly adapted to the rhythm of island life, watching the sun melt into the Pacific like gold poured from heaven. I met people from all over the world, learning to breathe deeper, laugh easier, and forge lifelong friendships. Then came Thailand. Thailand was color, motion, chaos, tuk-tuks weaving through traffic like dancers, the aroma of street foods, temples steeped in history, and conversation with strangers that lasted for hours. I lived deeply, richly, uncovering parts of myself I hadn't yet discovered, and now I returned to stillness. I finally see the sign for Russian Road, and shortly after, there it is, 134th Street. We turn left, driving half a mile down the partially paved, then gravel road until we pull into our driveway. Back in Arlington, everything waits in place. The goats across the road still bleat at sunrise, the same potholes in the road. The world didn't pause because I left. And my friends, the ones I used to share everything with, they're still here, still working, still frequenting the same coffee shop, still making weekend plans, but seemingly without purpose or direction. I try to share my stories, Bangkok's night markets, walking the streets of the red light district, the kindness of the Thai people, but they only seem to land with a thud. I'm met with half-hearted smiles, and wow, that's cool. It's as if the weight of my words didn't make it with me through customs. Did they not board the plane? I carry my words, their meaning, and all these memories alone. These memories and moments hold too many emotions. I sit in my old room with the same worn carpet, the chalkboard wall adorned with notes from my friends written before I left. But I'm not the same. I write a poem to express how I feel in the weeks following my return. It's quiet. The silence and I, we form an alliance. It's quiet. We drive in the car. I have nothing to say. These words cling to me now as I take the back roads. Jordan Road winding like a memory. The trees lean over the road as if eavesdropping, moss dangling like sleepy curtains. I know these turns better than I know myself. I count them thinking, the sharp one past the pasture, the long stretch where the deer always cross, the dip where the fog collects thick in the mornings. I come to the one-lane bridge, the one that rattles just slightly as you drive over it. As a kid, I used to imagine it might collapse as we crossed. Now it feels narrow, like everything here. Narrow lanes, narrow thinking, narrow chances to say what I really feel. I drive through town. Moe's Coffee still stands on the corner, its old sign hanging. I used to meet friends there after church or before youth group. That place carries the warmth of so many long talks over hot drinks, but when I walk in now, the barista greets me like a stranger. Maybe I am one. Legion Park stretches out. I remember walking those paths in conversation with friends, seeking out strangers to share the gospel with. I recall buying water for a homeless man near the benches. His name escapes me now, but I remember praying for him, feeling how close God was in that moment. I walk a few blocks down to the ice cream shop, passing antique stores run by cranky old proprietors, the co-op supply store where we bought feed and hay, Lifeway Church, and the old theater where we held youth group events. At the end of town, the ice cream shop awaits. The flavors are written out on chalkboard. Kids run around outside. The smell of waffle cones transports me back to rainy afternoons after church when my friends and I sat inside laughing. I don't understand how I changed so much, yet everything around me seems to have remained the same. Living in unincorporated Arlington adds another layer to this feeling. Our community is one city, yet we're not officially a part of the city, neither fully urban nor entirely rural. This area has always been a tapestry of independent spirits, those who preferred the outskirts to the structured grid of city life. Historically, Arlington began as two separate towns, Arlington and Holler City, divided by the Stillaguamish River. They merged in 1903, but the echoes of the division linger much like my own divide in growing up between the unincorporated city and its unincorporated surroundings. The unincorporated areas have their own rhythm, shaped by the land and its history. The Stillaguamish River, once a vital artery for the Coast Salish people, remains to be a lifeblood for the community. The river's forks were traditional camping grounds, a place of convergence and passing. Now it's a backdrop to my drives, a constant yet ever-changing presence. Reflecting on this, I realize that my sense of alienation upon returning isn't just about my personal growth versus the town's seeming stasis. It's about the layers of history, the merging of past and present, the unincorporated and the unincorporated. My journey mirrors this pace more than I thought. I've been stitched together by vastly different places, Hawaii's softness, Thailand's chaos, and yet I've returned to this quiet patch of forest and field, unincorporated, unpolished, and somehow unchanged. But maybe that's where the resonance is. Maybe my heart feels most like this land now, somewhat off-grid, in between, a little wild. Living in incorporated Arlington means there's no sidewalk outside my house, no city streetlights, just gravel crackling under tires, frogs singing in the ditches, and the occasional neighbor riding a horse down the shoulder of the road like it's perfectly normal. It's the kind of place where people leave gates open, dogs roam free, and where you can't always get a cell signal, but you can see the stars clearly in the night sky. There's a kind of raw, unfiltered honesty to it. I think I've learned to appreciate that. I walk out to my mom's garden. Her tomatoes and dahlias are flourishing in the raised beds. I loom up across her pasture to where Deer Mountain rises in the distance, steady and unmoved. It's not a particularly grand peak compared to others in the Cascades, but it watched over our house like a quiet guardian. Deer Mountain is different in every season. In spring, it's dusted and green like fresh velvet. Summer brings a deep richness to it, the evergreens glowing under long days of light. In fall, fog curls around its middle like a belt of mist, and in winter, snow coats it like a blanket, covering it from the cold. It's always changing, yet always the same. That mountain has seen every version of me, the barefoot farm kid that rode on the backs of the neighbor's goats, the restless teenager, and now the young woman who has just come back from halfway across the world. It didn't move while I was gone, but it changed, just a little, and maybe that's all any of us do. We remain rooted, but we shift, grow, turn slowly towards the sun, season by season. Something about Deer Mountain feels sacred. Hasn't been anywhere yet. It carries the whole story of this place on its back. It doesn't question its place in the world. It simply is. Steady, quiet, steady, watching. And I realized maybe I don't have to choose between who I was and who I've become. Maybe all of it belongs. Maybe the silence that met me wasn't emptiness, but invitation. Sometimes I feel the weight of all those memories that no one here shared. Sometimes I wish I could fold up Bangkok's colors and lay them across these back roads, or bring the sound of the ocean waves into the hush of our gravel driveway. But I can't, so instead, I carry them quietly, stories waiting to be told. Thank you. Now we're going to move into announcing our Scholarly Works Award winner. So this last award recognizes excellence within our Scholarly Works section, honoring writing that reflects diversity in topic, originality in content, and strong overall quality. This year's recipient stands out for the way they engage their work with both depth and intention. Their writing is thoughtful, original, and consistently well-crafted, showing a clear commitment to both the process and the purpose of scholarship. They bring a meaningful voice to Synecdoche, and their work reflects what it looks like to pursue ideas with both curiosity and care. It is my honor to present the Scholarly Works Award to Zachary Hall.
I forgot to do that in awards chapel on Thursday, so I caught it this time. So this paper was the final paper of a seminar class taught by Professor Mark Grombekdam on the Gospel of Matthew's use of Old Testament texts. So this particular text, it was around Easter time last year where I was reading the end of Matthew's Gospel where Jesus is hanging from his cross and he cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Those are the first words of Psalm 22, which I saw as a very important connection between the two texts, and so I'll read a portion of the paper here. Matthew's depiction of the crucifixion event features a handful of details that show that it is anchored in the images of Psalm 22. Further allusions to the Psalms ought to be expected from St. Matthew, given that he repeatedly uses images and quotations from that book of the Old Testament throughout his gospel. A criterion of recurrence argues in favor of this connection because Matthew is an author who repeatedly uses the same material throughout his gospel. First, when Jesus had just been crucified, St. Matthew writes that his executioners divided his garments among them by casting lots. This is an allusion to Psalm 22:18, which reads, "They divide my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots." Matthew is clearly and intentionally echoing the language of the psalm, using the wording of the Septuagint, a Greek translation of the Old Testament, to illuminate these details. Next, Matthew shows the bystanders who passed by the crucified Christ, wagging their heads. This phrase echoes the language of Psalm 22:7, which reads, "All who see me mock me. They make mouths at me. They wag their heads." And finally, part of the crowd's blasphemy seems familiar. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he desires him. Again, this draws directly from the language of Psalm 22:8, which reads, he trusts in the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, for he delights in him. St. Matthew is clearly echoing the language of the psalm here, both showing the same idea and using the same vocabulary that's found in the Septuagint in this verse. Though the psalm itself is not messianic in its original sense or context, St. Matthew clearly interpreted the loneliness and suffering of Jesus hanging from a cross in the hours just before his death through the imagery that he saw in the words of Psalm 22. The connection is fitting because Jesus cries out as one who is deeply devoted to Yahweh, the one true God, who is afflicted and shamed and surrounded by enemies, and yet is still heard by God. And God's act of deliverance of this one has a worldwide, earth-shattering consequence. God hears the desperate prayers of those who are devoted to him, and though they suffer, St. Matthew proves through Jesus' crucifixion that they will be redeemed. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a special performance by Amanda Fagan accompanied by Bowden Ford. She will be performing an original song for us.
Hi. So 2 years ago, I was able to sing a song from a Jane Austen album I wrote, and now I'm back with a song from a Gothic album I'm going to be releasing in September this year. And each song is about a different Gothic novel or poem. And this song is about Jekyll and Hyde. And it's called Breath on the Mirror because I'm sure many of the English majors know Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But Dr. Jekyll, he believed man was both good and evil, and he tried to separate himself into two people. So that way, when he was Jekyll, he could be as good as he wanted, but when he was Hyde, he could get away with doing bad things. But the more he turned into Hyde, eventually he realized he couldn't turn back. So this is Breath on the Mirror.
Is not truly one, but truly two. My crimes are confined in this letter to you. The stars look down on me, and what did they find? A self-centered villain with something to hide. What if I could have it all? Relentlessly guilty and above the law. I'm the breath on the mirror. You can't see my face. You'll hear whispers about me, but won't find a trace. I live close to the edge, beyond the reach of fate. Only so many nights till I realize I've changed. Unconscious reservations had me holding on to assaults of temptation to do what was wrong, and I slowly lost hold of who I used to be till my soul became muddied with iniquities. My blood changed slowly with time till I woke up one day to find my veins ran ice. I'm the breath on the mirror. You can't see my face. You'll hear whispers about me, but won't find a trace. I'll live close to the edge, beyond the reach of fate. Only so many nights till I realize I've changed. I had to decide to be happy or good. If I wanted to go back, I I said that I could. Oh, and try as I might, I learned how I was wrong. I awoke in the night to find Jekyll was gone. There's no breath on the mirror, I can't see my face. I've tried every solution, but can't find a trace. I lived close to the edge until it was too late. Only so many nights till forever I'm changed. Only so many nights till forever I'm changed. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you, Amanda. Well, it is, okay, these are not working. Okay, we're shifting a little bit. What I am privileged to be able to present today is the Sigma Tau Delta inductees into the International English Honor Society for this year. So these are students that have shown themselves particularly capable and are able to join other English majors across the nation and the world. And so traditionally you have a penning ceremony, but I'm not going to pen anything on anyone. So what we're going to do instead is I have this lovely little bookmark which gives some more information about Sigma Tau Delta, and it says, high sparks of honor in thee have I seen. From Richard II. So, and again, what is Sigma Tau Delta? It is the International Honor Society for English Majors, and it offers scholarships, opportunities, including, and I hope you guys remember to do this, you can submit Synecdoche to their, they have a national contest every year over who has the best literary journal produced by undergraduates. So I hope you guys, yes, I'm hoping that you guys actually will submit this. So it is my privilege to announce this year's inductees into Sigma Tau Delta. The first is Amber Bosman. And your pin. And then we have Dylan Cranford. I should have said, everyone stay up here. You guys should all stay up here. Yeah, you should stay up here. Okay. Megan Erickson. And Grace Flory. Pattern here that the editorial board is doing quite well. Here we go. Okay, and Isabella Martin. And Devin Patterson. I'm guessing Nadia is not here. Is that correct? Oh, I forgot your pen. There we go. Okay, this is the members of Sigma Tau Delta for 2026. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi again. At this time, we'd like to honor graduating seniors here tonight. We recognize your hard work during your time at Vanguard University. May God bless all your future endeavors.
So if you're a senior in the room tonight, please stand. We're so proud of you guys, and we pray for your future endeavors.
Okay, we are just about done for the night, but before we go, there's a couple of thank yous that the team wants to say. So, great projects like Synecdoche are not possible without great leadership. I want to say on behalf of the team a massive, massive thank you to Professor Lamott, our faculty sponsor, for creating a space where all of us on the team were able to work without micromanagement. Through her trust in us as a group, we were able to create something that is truly student-led and student-centered. Without her, this journal would not be what it is. So thank you, Professor. On behalf of the whole team, we love you. Okay, and then finally, we have one more person. This year, our beloved professor, Dr. Hatch, stepped into her new role as the chair of the English department. This meant more responsibility for her at the university, in addition to what she already just had as a normal professor. And then outside of school, she, of course, has a life, so she has many responsibilities at home. So this year was extremely busy for her, but nothing ever changed for us as students. She was always available for questions, challenged us per usual in the classroom, and maintained so much professionalism in spite of everything that was on her mind. So thank you, Dr. Hatch, for such a wonderful year. It is truly our privilege to be your students. Okay, so that's it. If you were published in Synecdoche, we do have a special little gift for you that will be at the book buying table. We have to go grab it, but it will be there. We do have a gift for you. So please take your time, mingle, do whatever you want. And thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been such a pleasure.